It's been a day.
It's
It's
been a
been
day.
it's been a day. I know we were just getting on here and I was flustered and moving around. And so for those of you who are just joining us, um, I just had a moment of a hot flash. And so I, right before we started recording, I went and I opened up every window, but in such a, I don't know if you've had a hot flash. Have you had a hot flash, CeCe?
Oh, yeah.
So I literally was like, I can't breathe. I had everything set up. I threw everything away in the panic of panic, opened my screen door. It flew off. Then I, I was like, I'm coming, CeCe. I'm coming. I'm
My
just going to
gosh.
fix my screen door now.
Talk
Oh,
about the reality of midlife, hey?
oh my goodness. It's just been one of those days. I think I shared with you, I had not had my cycle in, oh gosh, I was close to the menopause. The menopause is
Ugh,
one day, right? I
yes.
would maybe in 3 more months, I would have been like the day, and then I would be postmenopause. And then my girls both got it at the same time. And then it did something to me. And then now I started bleeding. And I was like, no, no.
No.
So I'm
So,
starting my count all over again.
no. Like, literally, like, just like full moon cycle?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like,
Oh,
cheers. Cheers for me.
cheers. You sank with me too.
Oh,
We're in
you too? Oh,
on Friday,
you
on
moon.
the
Thank you,
Friday
moon.
before the full moon. Back on
Mm.
track again.
Oh my gosh. Because had you skipped a cycle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skipped a full cycle.
And was that the first
Yeah.
time?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
No, my body does this quite often.
Mm,
Usually when it's gonna switch over from the full moon to the new moon, but this one went right back to the full moon, so I'm like, "All right, we're still here."
I love that. And I love that you
Yeah.
count it. Like my girls have these apps on their phones,
Mhm.
which tells them because they're young, right? My youngest just started, in the course of last summer. But I'm really trying to get them to start honoring their body and realizing that it syncs with the moon. And so where
Mm.
are they? It's almost at the full moon, so you'll be expecting it next full moon. Rather than the calendar dates, I try to get them to sync with.
Yes.
And how does your body feel? Because are you in, when you're bleeding, you're in your winter. You want to hibernate, you want to snuggle in, you want to eat hearty foods. Then we
You
start getting
do.
a little spring energy, and then ovulation is our summer. And then we're like, okay, we're starting to, third week coming back into the fall, right?
Yeah, 'cause I know we get one good week in summer. That's
Yeah.
it.
Great.
For all you men watching, this is why we're a
Right.
little crazy.
And this is why, this I'm going to say it right, society,
Yeah. Patriarchal,
rather,
yep.
there you go. Thank you. Um, it's, women are supposed to be on like men every single day, and we're not.
It's not even possible. It's
No.
not even possible.
Yeah.
So for every woman out there watching this, we understand you. We're gonna validate that you're more normal than you've ever been told.
My goodness. So, okay, when did you notice your body start shifting into this next kind of phase of missing cycles and stuff?
Probably a couple of years ago. More so, I noticed the like my cycle's been pretty good. It's been pretty regular for my whole entire life, which I've been lucky. But
Mhm.
and it still is, other than this last 4 week period. But I had a diet change, and then I got sick, and the body just does what the body does.
Mhm.
But like for other things, hot flashes started a couple years ago. Um, a little bit more anxiety, I think, started a couple of years ago.
Mm.
So just like the more subtler things of perimenopause, which apparently has like 600 different, what do you call them? Symptoms to go with perimenopause, which is basically life, right? You can just sum it up to whatever you're feeling has the roller coaster of being in hormonal shift. So for
Yeah.
me, it was a couple of years ago. So around when I was about 45, I think. What about you?
Well, I guess I was always waiting for like some kind of a blind side. Oh, here
Hmm.
it is. We're in menopause, or we're in, and then that didn't really happen. I would say, if I think back, because this has been over the last couple of years as well. I was really getting, which again, there's not enough studies. I was reading this. I'm going to just tangent for a minute. I was listening to a
Mhm.
podcast, and they were talking about, all the studies ever done. And out of all of these studies that have been done, only 100,000 or less than 100,000. I'm going to misquote here probably. And I'll try to get after. I'll go back and maybe we can put it in the comments of the episode. But
Sure.
100,000 have been on women in the perimenopause menopause phase. Not a
Mhm.
lot has been researched about it. So
Yeah.
the symptoms my doctor missed. So when I first started, and after speaking with numerous women, this is a normal thing. And so maybe, you or some of our listeners can go, oh my God, I never thought of this. So I was getting bladder infections. I was getting yeast infections
Oh,
every
yeah.
single month. And I was like, what is going on? I
Yeah,
was
I've
getting
heard
all
about that.
these. Yeah. Okay. See, I had not. And so
Mhm.
I kept going to the doctor saying, I have another bladder infection. I have another yeast infection. What is going on? I was getting BV and I'm like, what is happening? Like, I don't know what any of this is, but my body is not appreciating whatever's happening. And so
Right.
I changed my diet. I did a lot of other things. And I hate antibiotics, but she was at the point where she was just giving me, after, coitus or whatever, I was going to need to take an antibiotics just to kind of make sure that no bacteria was anywhere in my body or my system.
Wow,
Yeah,
crazy.
it was crazy. So this is what she had diagnosed. And then so that was then I didn't put this together at that point. Then I started bleeding, spotting for over 6 months.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I became very anemic. Again, they missed it. So finally I went
Wow.
to an herbalist and the herbalist said, "Will you please just drink this tea?" And I was like, I will do anything at this point." And
Do
yeah,
it. Yes.
I'll do I'll do anything. You just tell me what to do. And so I did. And within 4 days, my entire body, all the hormones had kind of balanced themselves out. I stopped
Mhm.
bleeding. I have not, knock on wood, I have not had any kind of yeast, bladder, nothing. Nothing is going on.
Amazing.
And so I stopped drinking the tea after about 3 months, and then I
Mhm.
started spotting again, and I was like, "Oh, yes, get me I need some more tea, sweetie."
Give
And
me
so I
the
got,
tea.
yeah, a tea with just all like, she just took my symptoms, so go see an herbalist.
Yes. I'm a big advocate for me,
Yeah.
I'm a big
Or
advocate
go
for
see CeCe.
herbalism, natural.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm sure she had a variety of different herbs in that tea,
Well, that's what it
and
was. There was about
it can make all the
18.
difference. Yeah, it can make
Mhm,
all the difference in the world. I have a friend of mine who went to a Chinese traditional, medical practitioner, and it fixed the she fixed all of her symptoms within a week,
mhm,
everything, and got her off the hormone therapy. Like, so, yeah, Mother Nature has given us absolutely everything we need,
mhm.
and it should not be looked at as a second thing. It should be looked at the first thing, and then
Yeah.
we move over into the medical.
Yeah, and then, I mean, even you helped me because what I was doing was I was noticing the symptom,
Mhm.
and so I wasn't sleeping. So then you were like, "Okay, you have to take some hops," and so you made it for me and you sent it to
Yes.
me.
I'm like, "Take
Um,
take them."
yeah, and it worked like a charm. Treating each symptom with different things has absolutely worked, but the underlying cause was menopause, and or
Yeah.
premenopausal, right? And so that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there was no blindsiding like, it stopped. No, it was this slow kind of shift in my body that was unusual, and I didn't really enjoy it.
No, and I've heard from women more and more even in their early 30s because
Mm,
of the food we eat, just the metabolic functioning of how our bodies are, how toxic our livers are right now, right? Everything in our bodies. I mean, the air we're breathing, the water we're drinking, everything plays a part in how our metabolic function works. And I
Mhm.
know women are experiencing this stuff earlier and earlier and earlier, where long ago, I mean, you didn't hear about this stuff till late 40s, early 50s, maybe sometimes mid 50s, but the
Yeah.
experience is there. So even if you're not in true midlife yet, like Jen and I are, and you're experiencing some of this stuff, you're probably not out of the normal. You're probably pretty normal with the rest of us that are going through all of these different symptoms and things.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's super, super interesting. Well, and you know me, I'm always like a big advocate of menopause. I think, through the patriarchal society that we've had, menopause is you're doomed and gloomed, right? This is like the worst part of your life. You're not worth anything anymore. That was basically, I think, for decades and decades, the message that was given to women across the board everywhere is you're
Mhm.
now pretty useless.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that for I take everything the opposite way. I'm like, okay, patriarchs telling us that we're useless, we're probably pretty freaking powerful and they don't want us to know it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how are all of these things that we're going through? What do they actually represent? Right? And I think we've talked about the sleep before cuz now sleep is a big thing, right? There's so many women that wake up in the middle of the night or they can't sleep at all or whatever the case is. And it's our rhythms are changing, right? So, I look at it from the standpoint of it irritated me for a while, and then I'm like, "Why is this irritating me so much?" Well, A, we're told that we need 8 hours of sleep, right? To function, which is not the truth. And
Mhm.
then we're also told that waking up in the middle of the night means something's wrong with you. Your
Right.
cortisol spiking or this is spiking. I look at it from the standpoint now of what could I not process at noon that now my body wants to process at 3 AM? So,
Yes.
right? So I'll often wake up
Yes.
and yeah, whether I wanna
Have
lay there
downloads.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sometimes it's getting up and sitting with a tea or an early coffee and a book or a journal or whatever the case is and letting that time frame ride out, and then it's back to bed for a couple of hours. But instead of resisting what our bodies naturally wanna do, we can ride it out in a different way. We can look at it and have perspective on it that maybe doesn't make it so horrible for our minds. Does that make sense?
Oh, you helped me with that because when this was in the crux of all of the things coming in and me not putting the pieces together, I hated it. I hated the changes because again, we know that I control is something I'm hereditary. I hadn't quite worked so hard at that yet.
You're doing
Um,
great.
yeah. I actually feel like I'm doing great. It's so crazy. I just had this like the last couple days I've felt this fog lift in the full moon release that I've been
Mm.
doing. And I am like, yeah, that's a whole other podcast. But I have literally been I hated the way my body felt. I hated the waking up because I was so used to this, you know, most of my life in this kind of cycle that and so the shift was really hard for me. And there was unpleasantness as well to it.
Oh, yeah.
But no, you and other friends who have been so wise have really kind of shifted the perspective of the okay, it's different, but is it actually, is it actually an uncomfortable different? Yes. But is it bad necessarily? Or, that I don't want to put that judgment on it, but is it something that it could it be positive? And the answer is, oh, heck yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I got angry
absolutely.
that I got my period. I was like, "What? No!"
I'm actually happy for you. I'm like, "Yeah, that girl's still intact. Woohoo!"
I
Right?
love that. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I also felt like it was a bit of a death. Like, there was a lot of death in me of, the good girl,
Mm.
or the people pleaser.
Yeah.
So this is the shift that you helped me see, and so, yes, there was some physical things that I am still navigating, um, like the weight gain. That's not so fun. But
Right?
yeah, but it's something that I'm letting it go because there's so many positives that are coming in with it, and the wisdom and the ability to, I had this thought in meditation just a couple days ago that menopause and the going through it is almost like the truth rising.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, oh, I just got goosies again. When
Me
that
too.
came to, I was like, it is. It's us actually rising into who we are meant to be, or at our core, at our soul level.
Yeah, it's our own reckoning, right? It's like our own becoming. It's unbecoming. We've talked about that too. It's the unbecoming of the performance.
Yeah.
And now it's into like the true reality of who we are. And
Yeah.
all these things have a part to play it or yeah, part to play in it. Does that sound
Hmm.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
No,
I'm still on sick brain. I'm just finishing getting over being sick, so my brain's like, ah.
I know. And you were really sick.
After some massive clearing of some grief that came through, and the whole time I was sick, I had this unlayering process of things that were unlayering, and I'm just like, I'm so over it. I'm done. I told you I'd surrender, but I think I'm okay now. Leave me alone for a while. But no, no, even yesterday, even last night. So yeah, it even our hot flashes, if you want to go into hot flashes, right? They're annoying. We know that, right? You know that. You just had to open every
I
window,
just had every
pop
window
out a screen, right? And you're like, "Oh my god, I'm dying."
again, just trying to get the cold air on my body.
Yeah, exactly. But if we even change the perspective on that, it's like where in our lives have we not been allowed to flush? Where have we
Mm,
not been allowed to rise up and let the internal fire in us, the internal heat that's been dormant for so long come
mm.
out? And as I
Ah,
say that, I'm getting really hot,
yeah.
right? Like
Ooh, okay.
you can just think about it, but it's all these little the signs and the symptoms can have a different shift. We can have a different shift of perspective on it so that we lead away from us being fragile and broken because we're not. We're just in this shift. All this is just things that we shift with,
Yeah.
right? And then all the anxiety that comes up and comes with this. I mean, I never thought for my life that I had as much anxiety as I do underneath the surface. And it's with this surrender, there is no getting away from it. There's no running away from it when we talked about surrender. So now it's like, okay, well, where have I stopped in my lifetime not being allowed to show that I have a fear or I have anxiety towards something or whatever the case is, right? So
Mm,
I think perimenopause and menopause is we're not broken. We're literally shifting into the ultimate supreme energy that we are.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it's some days I'm struggling to find
For sure.
that perspective.
To find meaning, I trust me, I do too.
Yeah.
I sit here and swear and cry, so I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. And oh yeah, because like brain fog, like as much as I can see other positives, and brain fog for me is that's the one that I'm like, I could live without feeling like I have no idea. Well, and the fact that I kind of like, I legitimately feel like some days I'm gonna blow up my life. I'm like, I'm done. Let's just blow it up. Why not?
Let's just let's just do it.
Let's just blow it up.
Let's
What's
just do
the worst
it.
that can happen if I quit my job, sell my house, and live in a van? It's fine. It's
It's so
fine.
good, right? Oh my god.
See the positive of this, but sometimes I'm like, my children
Yeah,
though. Oh, let's talk about that. What about Chris? What about friends? Have they seen that shift in you, or did they notice any of those like symptoms or signs?
um, Chris I think Chris, yes, and
Hmm.
Chris, without even knowing what he was seeing, probably noticed a couple of years ago when things started to shift. I noticed that he noticed when I would go to tell a story or I would go to say something, and my thoughts could not come out of my mouth fast enough for him, and he'd be like,
Come on.
And I'm like, "Oh my god." I'm like, "It's right here, but it cannot come out my mouth." Like, I get it. So then I had to start telling him like, "Hey, listen, I'm going through perimenopause. You don't know much about it, but basically, I don't have a brain.
Yeah.
Like, right
Yeah.
now,
Not a
some
functioning
moments,
one anyway.
it's not working the same as it used to work. It's gonna take longer for me to get a story out, and I might repeat that story a few times to get it out properly.
Yeah.
But, like, bear with me, right?" And now we're at the stage where he watches enough, videos. There's so many beautiful videos of husbands out there who express what their wives are going through and how to, like, mitigate that. So he watches a lot of those things, and I'll send him a lot of those things because 'cause I'm like, "See, it's not just me." Right? There's a lot of people doing it. So he's way more, I think, open now when we talk about it, and I'm I've gotten to the point, which is beautiful, because I wasn't like that for most of our marriage, where I can just be like, "Hey, I'm having anxiety," or "Hey, I'm super emotional and I need you," or "Hey, just hold some space for me right now. Like, I don't need you to fix anything. I don't need like nothing. This is what I need." And now he listens because now I'm more open about it, right? So he's noticed. He's
Yeah.
noticed, but he's more on instead of the combative spouse, he's like the supportive. He's
Mm.
become more of the supportive spouse around it, which is
Mm.
beautiful.
That
Yeah,
is
but and
beautiful.
for friends, I mean, my most of my friends are a little bit older than me, so they all went through it a little sooner than I did.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I kind of had a preview with them more than they did with me, I think. Now they
Yeah.
just go, right?
Hope you're having a good time.
Yeah. Hope you're having a good ride there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna just shut this blind. It's like killing my eyes right now. There we go. Okay.
See, even light sensitivity.
Oh
Like
my goodness.
there's so much stuff.
It's so crazy. And that's true because I was in a yoga class last night and the music was having the reverb, like it was like because it was too loud. And her
I hate
voice
that.
was in the microphone. You could hear her just and I was like, okay, this is supposed to be like a calming sensation, but I literally my entire body was like, I was like, I finally had to plug my ears and I started rocking. Like I was like,
But
appropriate, but I'm like, I think I might have like a touch of autism or something. Really uncomfortable for me.
my god.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
No, welcome to perimenopause.
Yeah, I know. And so that's it. So it's that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, I can't deal with the sun right now. Like it's so, what a perfect opportunity.
Right?
Yeah.
Seriously. It can be the most random stimulation and it's
Mhm.
all of a sudden it's just too much.
And
Like
when you
way too
see
much.
it, you're like, oh, like, normally I would have just said, oh, the sun is bothering me, but it is all part of it. And this is the symptoms that everybody has such a vast a variety of symptoms, and some
Oh
are
yeah.
overwhelming and some need to, some need we need assistance with getting, through or,
Yeah.
until we get used to them, but yeah, we we're
Absolutely.
we're doing it.
Yeah. So if you've made it this far with us and you're going through midlife, whether you're a man or a woman, if you're a male and you have a spouse, let us know how that's going.
Good.
And if you're a gal out there going through the same stuff, let us know your symptoms, what you're going through, and even other things you want us to talk about with it, because we both have some lengthier things we could probably talk about if we really
Yeah.
wanted to.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
when
yeah.
I with me and the girls, with relationships,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Because you've got younger daughters and you're going through this, which I do not envy you for.
No, because I have teenage children who are very hormonal, and then a mother
Mhm.
who is crazy. That would be me.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like,
you're basically a teenager again.
we're all going through it. And I've even
Yep.
had to have conversations with them, reminding them that like I am going through something similar in my body that you are going through. It's the opposite, but it's changing just as quickly and as
Yeah.
uncomfortably as yours is. And
Yeah.
so that actually has given them a bit of grace with me. Now, when I am raging over them not putting a dish away, that's not, I mean, they're like, okay, mom, this is a little extreme still, mom. But yeah, I'm like, this is part of the rage.
Right?
Uh,
And it
yeah.
comes out at a damn dish. Like,
It's so
is it
crazy.
is it's so crazy where that comes out, where it's like
Mm,
all of a sudden you're just like, boom. I've been catching mine a little quicker. Like, I'll feel it come, and then I'll
mhm,
get into something, and then I'm like, and not that I stop it to push it back in,
mhm.
but I've been trying to grab the ledge a little bit quicker so I don't fall completely off and go backwards and go
Yeah.
the other way with it, so I don't
Well,
destroy everybody's systems around me, but it's hard.
it is hard.
It is not easy.
And I wasn't doing a very good job. I was actually really shitty, like really shitty at it. And so I just felt like I remember I felt so disappointed in myself because I was like, "CeCe,
No!
I went on HRT."
My god. You're so cute. I loved when you said that. I was like,
Yeah.
"And?
I felt like such a I was like,
And?"
because we and me and other beautiful like osteopaths and herbalists and naturopaths. I mean, acupuncture, massage, guys. Physio. I had tried so much, and I was like, I am failing at life. Like I literally was this close
Aw,
to
that's a hard place to feel.
it was, and I went to the doctors and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Say, I think my ADHD is going crazy.
Aw.
Sobbing in her office, I'll never forget, and she looked at me, she goes, "Can we try HRT now?" And I was like, "Yes, yes,
Okay,
we can."
please.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so I was so fearful of the, old research that we have, kind of always the last 20 years or so, we've been really kind of so fearful of going on HRT because
Yeah.
we found that it increased breast cancer by a certain percentage, but they're redoing studies and, there's different kinds of HRT now. So there are some that are
Yes.
more safe. And so I'm on the pump,
Yes.
which is um, very safe. And so you put it on either your inner thighs or on your arms. That's the estrogen. And then I take a progesterone pill. And I have to tell you, my life is
Change
completely,
dramatically.
oh, look, I can have a conversation.
I
My
love
children are
it.
alive. I'm not in jail. I've
This
kept my job. I still have a house.
those are the things that count. Okay, listen, ladies on the other end of this.
Yes.
You can go either way. You can go all natural if you choose.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
go HRT. Neither one doesn't mean you're any less.
No.
You can go either way. There is no right or wrong answer. This is
Mhm.
all about what works for each individual person. I walked into my chiropractor one day and I was having one of those days where the tears would just not freaking let up. And I have a chiropractor's appointment and life still needs to go on. So I went in
My
and
back needs adjusting.
yeah. And he looks at me and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, No, I'm not okay. I'm like, midlife sucks. Hormones suck. All this sucks. And I'm laying on his table bawling and he's like, can I give you a number of a doctor? Maybe like HRT might work for you? And I was like, at that point, I was like, yes. And I'm like, but I don't know what it's like in Ontario. Out in Alberta, it's very hard to find a doctor. I did call. I did make the call after I left them because I was feeling that bad too. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a doctor, so I haven't been able to get into anybody. And
Mhm.
that was probably the last time I had that out in public. But same thing. He was like, "This is very uncomfortable. Go take something." Right?
He's probably not got a wife that's in, was he younger?
Yeah, he's probably a little bit younger than Chris and
Yeah.
so his wife's probably not going through it quite yet. But
No,
he
yeah.
said
You gotta
he had patience where it helped. So I was like, I was thankful, right? I was thankful someone else was out there saying, "Here, go try this or go try that."
Yeah. Well, for me, it's working right now, and I gave it 3 months. And again,
Mhm.
it's so interesting because I did the same thing. I had my whole birth plan, and when it didn't go according to it, I felt so disappointed in myself, which is so I know what it
So
sounds like.
crazy,
It's
hey.
so crazy that we have that expectation on ourselves that but I was just I'm so natural and so I push this and so I speak. I feel like if I speak it, I should walk the walk and I do. But this was something that I was not managing. And
Yeah.
so I had to kind of weigh the pros and cons, but I have to tell you, It was the best decision I could have made. So I'm giving it 3 months, which is coming up next month, I think it is. And
Yep.
then I'm gonna see what it's like, if to pull myself off and see if my body's kind of adjusted
Thank you
to
for the
this.
warning.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, so if you're like, "Jen, go back on HRT."
Time to go.
Okay, done. Oh my
Right?
goodness. Okay, so let me ask now, because here's
Okay.
we have estrogen for the, you know, okay, yeah, because libido and low libido and reaching climax is something that
Mhm.
I have heard is a possibility, or is something that really diminishes in women of our going through our stage of life.
Mhm.
Um, have you heard about that?
I have, um, I have heard yeah, I have heard about it. So the one friend that I did have, she was on that as well.
Okay.
She suffered from problems down there as well. Like from what I've heard from her and other people, you can get itchy, but there's nothing there, and you
Well,
can get
that's what I think it was
this.
with me. It wasn't yeast infection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was just because your hormones, they just go
Yeah.
crazy, right? So your body
Yeah.
reacts. Everybody's body reacts in different ways. Now, not all women get it. Not all women have that problem or anything like that. But so she started using that, and it did fix it for her. But when she went, honest to God, when she went to that Chinese medical doctor who
Yeah.
literally did teas
Yeah.
and full body acupuncture, and I'm talking like full body acupuncture, um, she came off all that stuff within weeks, and she's been fine.
Okay.
It's never come back.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I have heard of both. I've heard of it, and it did work while she was on it, and it's now working with her doing it the other way.
Okay.
So, there's
Good.
possibilities for both things.
Yeah.
And you found you had told me you found something that worked for the bottom general area too, which were I think they were or was it boron?
Oh. Oh, so that's the thing. Yeah, borax. Borax suppositories. I'd forgotten about
Borax
that.
suppositories.
I'm
Yeah,
not joking.
we
So
are not medical professionals. We are
no,
not giving you advice. Do your own
no.
research on everything we talk about.
Yes.
Um, but
This
you
is
said it
just our
worked for you.
personal. Yes. So I was, like I was saying, I was getting all of these yeast infections, and or very low grade though, and but enough to be, I mean, we've all had one of those, and if you
No.
haven't, you're lucky. And
Yeah,
then bladder
exactly.
infections that they were just the start of them, and I could feel it coming, and they're like, "Well, we don't really see it in your urine yet." I was like, "Well, I don't care. I can feel it." And we all know
Yeah.
what that feels like.
Yep.
And then I was getting, like I said, BV, and I was like, "What is like, this is a bacterial." So then you'd have to go through a 7-day course of antibiotics. And I was like, "This is not working for me." And after a few friends had shared these borax suppositories, I was like, "Huh? I'm not joking." I was like, at this point, okay, you have to remember, at this point, it's been a year of every single month going through this cycle. And I have got,
Yeah.
as somebody who does not like medicine, I have now had to go on all of this. And if you don't know the symptoms of BV, research it. It ain't fun.
Yeah.
And
No.
so I tried this, and I'm not joking.
It worked.
It worked like a charm. Like 1 or 2, and like in the evening, and it literally just it's the pH. It's
It's all it
pH.
is.
That's all it
Yeah.
is. And so
Which our
once
hormones fuck with.
that's exactly, and that's what we're doing. That's the problem with perimenopause and menopause, right?
Yeah.
It's our hormones literally
Mhm.
going bottoming out. I
Yep.
was reading a study, and this was, ooh, again, I'll put it in the comments if I can ever find her name, because I hate not referencing somebody. She was a gynecologist, and she was doing a
Mhm.
podcast. And I'm trying to remember the exact statistic was, I think, the moment you start ovulating, your body starts decreasing in estrogen. So
Mhm.
it's slowly, slowly, slowly. And then what happens in perimenopause is this rapid bottom out. So by the time you are done, you have basically zero estrogen in your body, right?
Mhm.
And so this is where this is coming from. And so we've lived our whole life on this juicy, beautiful hormone that gave us all this vivaciousness and vitality and all of this really lovely joint movement. And,
Right?
right? Supple kind of skin, and that's
Yeah.
why we're all kind of I'm like anyway, that's a whole other thing, this skin
It all
collagen
goes with it.
nonsense. Oh, I
I
can't
know.
even yeah.
Still got to send you some facial stuff, apparently, right?
Yes, yes, you do, because I was literally talking to a friend the other day about, maybe I should just head to Turkey because we could do like a maybe a little
No,
lower
so you
lips.
stop it. We'll get you there
My
natural.
skin is melting.
Oh, that's so cute.
Whatever. Yeah, no,
That's
I
funny.
feel like there's so many physical things that I'm reframing, which is really good, but I'm able to see that reframe because of the HRT.
Yeah. Well, I just started following a gal. I commented in one of her on one of her posts because I'm like, you and we should probably have her on a podcast if she wants to come on. I
Oh,
think I if I'm wrong, I'll post the right one underneath in our comments. But I think her name is Andrea, the TikTok menopausal coach. I think. And she's on TikTok. But she talks about menopause from a metabolic standpoint, which is something that I've heard about probably since I was in my 20s. So when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I went through massage therapy school, but I went through school in the States. So we got to take like not only massage therapy, but like a whole bunch of different modalities and courses. And one of them was a menopause course back then. So, and that was when my mom was going through menopause. So I got to help her do it naturally back then, which was cool. But one of the, and don't quote me on it again, everybody do their own research on what Jen and I are talking about. But from what the metabolic standpoint is um one, our adrenal glands are actually supposed to take over estrogen production. From what I remember. Now don't
right.
quote me on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a little while and I haven't gone and back through the research, but if you think about that and if that is the case, what's the one thing that's most shot in everybody nowadays?
Mm.
Your adrenal glands are you're fucked, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
live in a state of high stress, high anxiety, high fear, high emotion, right? And our adrenals are the ones that are supposed to take care of us during fight or flight or freeze. So
Mhm,
they're pretty much in most people, they're on 90% of the time, especially women, right? And the older we get, the more they're flaring and that kind of stuff. So
mhm,
metabolically, if they're not functioning properly, and then you've got a liver that's not functioning properly, and a gallbladder that's not functioning properly, then all of a sudden the ease in which this is supposed to all take place goes from really bad, like really non-existent, to really bad for a lot of women,
ooh, that makes so
right? Does that make sense?
yes.
Because if I look back at my mom when she went through it, she didn't go through it all that bad, to be quite honest. It wasn't like it is for us now.
Mm,
Her transition from what we call perimenopause, I don't think was talked about back then. It wasn't even a thing. It was
mhm,
just straight into menopause, right?
mhm,
Um, but the transition of that was different. But life was much different then too.
mhm,
Um, they women when my mom at that age, they didn't live in their emotions, right? It was very black and white. It was a
yeah,
very different time frame. So I don't think their adrenals and and the food that they ate back then too, 25, 30 years ago, was
was
not
home
as
cooked.
crappy as it was now.
Yeah,
Yeah, everything was
yeah,
home cooked. You
yeah,
weren't going out to eat. Chips were chips and the junk food and everything else that was non-existent. But
mhm,
you didn't get that. If you
yeah.
did, it was like once in a blue moon. So I think metabolically, our bodies were made to be able to handle this, yet we're in a system that's changed our bodies so drastically with how we've lived and how we are on a day-to-day basis that it's made it very different. So I'll do a bunch more research on that. And I'm going to try to see if I can get this lady on our podcast because
Ooh,
she, the way she talks about, uh, metabolically how this is supposed to go and move through us makes so much sense to me. And it's not something that even anybody that I've heard of said, yeah, maybe we need to look at your liver. Maybe your liver's so overloaded that maybe that's disrupting everything, right?
so and that Biological like the component that I love that. That's
Yeah.
what's missing. We don't have that research. And that's, I mean, we have testimony, and that's what we're talking about today. Testimony of
Yeah.
self, testimony of our friends of, or our, families, mothers,
Absolutely.
grandmothers.
Yeah.
But that is something we just need to continue to open up the dialogue because, like, who knew that me getting all those kind of, how is that connected, right? Most people are just, we live in such kind of sections of life that we don't kind of connect and put it all together sometimes until this kind of a conversation happens.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then we're in our own little pods in our lives, right? Where we if you're already feeling horrible because your body feels horrible and your mind is not functioning properly, how do
Yeah,
you even think of researching half of this stuff, right?
right. Yeah,
Like, and I think the only reason that that stuff has come to memory for me is because you and I talk about it a lot. I talk about it with Chris a lot. I talk about it with Karen a lot. Like, it comes out quite a bit, right? Where 20 years ago I wouldn't have talked about it, wouldn't have been a thing because we weren't there yet.
yeah.
But now it's here, and it to me, it makes sense, and it makes sense why we even gain, like, the weight that we gain and stuff like that. If we're not metabolically functioning properly, right? If our gut biome's off and our liver needs support and our gallbladder needs support and, like, all of that needs support, well, then, yeah, no, we're not we're going to be in a state of stasis, basically, where we're just gonna keep gaining weight. So, I think there's hope for everybody. Like I said, everybody needs to do their own research on everything, but it's instead of being stuck, it's like you can take empowerment over yourself by doing more research, and I don't think it's far from being done out there, but I know there are women and doctors out there that are studying this stuff, so.
And again, it's also the, absolutely do the research, but
Mhm.
also the shifting of perspective, which we talked about earlier. And
Yeah.
seeing it's not necessarily a negative. It's, there
No.
could be positive aspects of it. As I was saying, with, like, I feel like it was the truth rising, the truth of
Yeah.
who I am. And so the beauty of that shift has been so transformative and releasing all of the identities or social selves that I was no longer willing to be or to
Yeah.
perform. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Eh
not even through it. Now I got another year to go.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Welcome back, friend.
Welcome back.
We're back on target with me. Yay.
Yay.
You're not alone. I'm not alone. Yay.
It's so true. It's so true.
Right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. The crazy will still continue. Perfect.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Uh,
But yeah, so you loved the hops that I made you, right? The hops
Loved it.
tincture.
Yes. So if anybody
Human.
wants hops or any kind of assistance with going through this with herbs, you have to reach out to Cece because she
Yeah,
has.
I apologize to everybody. I haven't gotten my school app really, really up and running just with being sick here. I'm like, I just couldn't do anything. So I'm gonna get to cracking on that because that's where I'm gonna put all of my herbal stuff. I'm gonna put everything on there. I'm gonna teach women how to make their own herbs as well, so you can make some of this stuff at home for yourself. But yeah, there is some support stuff out there. Hops I fell in love with. And it was on Outlander. So for all you Outlander fans, I don't know if you remember, but in the apothecary to help Jamie sleep, he used,
Damn it. What is it?
an herb called Humulus ublis, and that is
Oh.
hops, basically. So, yeah, so hops is a calmative, which is nice, but it's also adrenal support, lymphatic support, calms the mind, and it's by far one of my favorite for sleep. I even take it in the morning if my brain's running ragged, I'll take it too at the same time, and it just calms you down. So there we have so many different ones. Black cohosh. So if you're, I don't, you are, do you deal with the hot flashes often?
No. Today was, that's why I was like,
Today was just
that's
one of
why
those days.
that's why the screen went flying because I was like, what is this? I was like,
Needed to
whoa.
come out, needed to come out of you. It needed to come out,
Something needed
right?
to come out. You heard
Yeah.
even the voice, right? It was like,
Like,
"Rah," like,
"Rah." Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. See, a hot flash sometimes needs to be that because it's like, where do you need to flush stuff out? Like it needs to
yeah,
come up that way,
yeah.
right? But if I mean, if you're like, if you're suffering, black cohosh is a beautiful herb. It's, I mean, again, do your own research because it's got some things with blood pressure and stuff like that. You have to watch depending on different meds and stuff you're taking. But there's so much different stuff. Like there's so much very cool stuff to be able to take.
Yeah. Like so much. And just to
So
even get your
much.
body into that the adrenals working better or your liver functioning better, right?
Yeah.
There's herbs for so we're not just treating the symptoms, which is what I kind of felt like I was getting into and instead of treating the underlying cause, right?
Exactly. Percent. Well, and
Which
I
is
mean,
what you and the herbalist helped me treat essentially.
yeah, definitely. And you
Yeah.
can do both. You can do the medicine side and the herbal side. You just have to make sure that you're not either or not interfering with each other. That's the last thing you want to do. So if you're taking meds, always make sure you're going to refer to make sure that any herbs you're taking are not going to interfere. Something as simple as like the herb licorice.
Mm-mm.
The herb licorice actually, if you suffer with low blood pressure, that can create more low blood pressure. So a lot of people don't know that. And right,
Mm-mm.
some people will go drink ouzo out the wazoo, and then they wonder why they're feeling a little extra bad the next day. Well, you drank licorice, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
there's
See?
there's
Yeah. You're such a witch. Reach out to her. She knows a lot.
reach out. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, long story short, all that will be on the school app coming up
Yeah.
soon.
Good.
So you guys can reach. I know we've had people on in our comments say, "Hey, where can I see your website?" I don't have one up right now. I'm getting it ready and prepared to be inside the school app because it's going to be community there, and that's kind of how I want it. Is just like a small tribal community that comes when they're ready to come, basically.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that.
Hmm.
Oh, man.
Right. Now just letting this all finish up.
The
Crazy.
cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, it's so crazy that after the last podcast, which is the surrender kind of let go podcast, this then happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Beautiful.
did. And I mean, anything you're going through, I think for anyone who's watching this, if you've got a cold or you think you've got the flu, if you just look back at your last 3 months before that and see what was really going on in your lifetime, if you got something like in the lungs, like I had high lung stuff with this, it's all grief. I knew it was grief. And at this point, I'm so tied to my emotions and my body that I knew where all of this came from. And
Hmm.
I knew the grief was so big that one day that it's I know my lung meridian basically kicked off everything. So I
Hmm.
knew where this came from.
Hmm.
And it was such a blessing actually. Um I was so exhausted that I could not where I would normally want to be maybe what's the word? Um maybe over explaining to people.
Hmm.
I I was so exhausted that I was just like, "You know what? If you don't get it, honestly, I just whatever.
Right.
You deal with it. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm so exhausted. I have no
Yeah.
functioning power left in me to be any more than I need to be for myself," which was a blessing. That was a
Mhm.
different energy for me to be in because I'm always the fixer and I'm always like the witchy, what can I do for you? Right? How can I help? Whatever it is. And I had none of that. Like zero. Like 0, 0. And for me, that was a blessing to be able to see and feel what that felt like, to be able to just be like, "If you don't get it, that's all right. I'm good. I'm so tired. I can't explain anyway, so it's all good."
That is the beauty of the truth rising, right?
Yeah,
It took you to be in that state to be able to be like, no, actually, that actually felt easier to do that than I thought it would have. So this is the
so
truth.
much easier. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's something I feel like now I can move forward with and embody instead of being reactive with people or being in a reaction with people, to be able to just be to stay in that place of like, I don't need to over explain anything. If you get it,
Yeah.
you get it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
And you have just as many tools as I do at the end of the day to get whatever you're not getting, right? So it was a blessing. So if you're sick, I feel for you, but it is a blessing if you look at it. If you can see the blessing in it, whether that's you're exhausted and can't do anything for anyone, good. That's where you're supposed to be. So
The perfect time to listen to our podcast.
yes. It is. And to look at
Listen to another episode.
exactly where you where our old stored emotions needing to let go,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
our bodies are incredible. Menopause, perimenopause, teenagehood.
Mm.
It's I mean, it is beautiful. I wish I honored my body now like the way I do now when I was a teenager. I
Yeah.
wish I understood my connection to my body then like I do now, right?
And that's and but do you feel your mother or your grandmother or the matron of your family helped you do that?
No. No,
See?
they were very disconnected from their bodies, right?
And
Their
look at
bodies were made to be shameful, right?
yeah.
That was
And
that era.
exactly. And look at your daughter and
Well, yeah.
my daughter.
Yes.
Daughters, they're very different. They're very
Very
much
different.
in they are listening to their bodies. They are so beautifully aware of the ins and outs of how things work and how it connects to
I
emotions.
love that.
Yeah,
It's
and
so good.
yours are too. It's
Oh,
your daughter,
yeah.
like, she's yeah, they're
Oh,
rocking it. So,
yeah,
yeah,
they honor
mama.
they right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I know, we did something right, woohoo! Right?
we just one
Celebrate!
thing, but we did
Yeah, exactly, exactly, it was something.
yeah,
But the
yeah.
fact that we're allowing them to speak about their bodies and talk about their cycles and do all that kind of stuff, and
Mhm.
I mean, that's something I think will be needed over time, and it's a beautiful thing that they get to have that.
Yeah. Oh, babe, it was so good to catch up with you.
You
I'm so glad
too.
I'm feeling better.
Oh, yeah, thank God, me too. As a blessing as it was, I'm like, "I'm over it, we're good.
Yeah.
Time to move on." So,
Yeah.
and I'm glad
Oh.
you've cooled down a little bit.
Oh, yeah. My cats are freezing, but I'm feeling quite
But
cozy,
you're
actually.
like, "I'm so good." That's
I'm so
awesome.
great.
Right? Well, if you stuck with us this long, congratulations. Thank you for being with us on Midlife with Mystics and Misfits, and we hope to see you soon.
Take care, honey.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.